Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the thrilling twists awaiting us in Port Charles over the next 2 weeks. From September 1st to September 12th, where revenge plots thicken, family crises erupt, and unexpected alliances form in the shadows. Kicking off with a bang, the storyline ramps up as a shadowy figure sets their sights on Drew Kane, unleashing a storm of vengeance that could shatter his world. This isn't just a simple grudge. Imagine a meticulously planned scheme involving anonymous tips and forged documents that drag Drew's past indiscretions into the spotlight, forcing him to confront old enemies he thought were long buried. Meanwhile, young Scout Quartermain finds herself at the center of a heartbreaking daddy dilemma, her innocent questions about family ties pulling at the heartstrings of everyone around her. Adding to the chaos, Jason Morgan encounters a monumental curveball that flips his carefully controlled life upside down. Perhaps a long-lost connection resurfaces with secrets that tie into his underground dealings, leaving him questioning loyalties he's held for years. As we ease into the week of September 1st to 5th, note that Monday starts with a rerun episode, but fresh drama explodes right after. Sonny Corinthos steps in as the unlikely hero, guiding his grandson Danny Morgan and Rocco Falconeri through the shock of discovering a lifeless body hidden in an unexpected location, maybe tucked away in the docks under the cover of night. This grim find is quickly confirmed as Judge Eva Heron, whose untimely demise screams foul play. Fingers point to the cunning Jen Sidwell, who might have silenced her permanently to protect his web of corruption, ensuring she couldn't reveal incriminating details about shady deals involving Sonny's empire. To heighten the tension, picture Sidwell's henchmen leaving subtle clues at the scene, like a cryptic note that hints at deeper conspiracies brewing in Port Charles' underbelly. Shifting gears, Willow Tate's decision to reunite with Drew purely for the optics of a custody battle raises red flags for Harrison Chase, who senses something off in their forced chemistry. Chase might start digging discreetly, enlisting a private investigator to uncover hidden motives, all while grappling with his own insecurities about trust and relationships. Elsewhere, Lucas Jones warns Elizabeth Baldwin to tread lightly, fearing she's getting too embroiled in Willow's messy affairs. Perhaps Liz stumbles upon confidential medical records that could expose vulnerabilities in the case, adding layers of ethical dilemmas to her already complicated life. Portia Robinson gears up for a major revelation, which could signal the end of her marriage to Curtis Ashford or unveil a bold new strategy to reclaim control of her future. In a heartfelt moment, Curtis opens up to his ex, Jordan Ashford, confessing that Portia's suspicions about lingering feelings might hold water, leading to a tender scene where old flames flicker amid shared memories of better times. To expand on this, envision Curtis reflecting on pivotal moments from their past, like a romantic getaway that once solidified their bond, now contrasting sharply with his current marital strife. The drama escalates with an urgent 911 call in a heinous crime that sends shockwaves through the entire town, distinct from Judge Heron's fate. This could be the moment Drew's enemies strike, ambushing him in a dimly lit alley with a weapon that leaves him barely alive, his blood staining the pavement as sirens wail in the distance. Rushed to General Hospital, Drew clings to survival in a high-stakes surgery, while detectives like Chase and Anna Devane grill potential culprits, piecing together alibis and motives in an interrogation room buzzing with tension. Nina Reeves dives into dangerous territory with a high-risk move, possibly tampering with surveillance footage to shield Willow if suspicions arise about her involvement in Drew's attack. This gamble could involve Nina allying with an unlikely tech-savvy contact, risking her own freedom in the process. Trina Robinson, meanwhile, experiences moments of sheer panic, fretting that her parents Portia or Curtis or even the enigmatic Kai Taylor might have crossed a line in their protective rage against Drew, leading to sleepless nights filled with what-if scenarios. Michael Corinthos receives crucial updates that tie into Drew's peril, perhaps learning of a hidden alliance that implicates family members in ways he never imagined. On a parallel track, Jason stumbles upon a jaw-dropping revelation, while Jocelyn Jacks and her partner Vaughn battle survival fears during a perilous operation, their escape hinging on split-second decisions in hostile territory. It seems Jason might swoop in as the savior after Britt Westburn activates a secret burner phone, calling him back to the Five Poppies resort for a daring extraction amid gunfire and narrow escapes. Jack Brennan employs his masterful manipulation tactics to keep Anna Devane in the shadows, weaving a tapestry of half-truths about his covert operations that leave her second-guessing her instincts. This could include fabricated evidence planted to divert her attention, heightening the cat-and-mouse game between them. Moving into the week of September 8th to 12th, the fallout from Jason's heroic intervention unfolds as he rescues Jocelyn and Vaughn from their dire straits. With questions swirling, Jason demands explanations about their WSB ties, pondering whether to maintain secrecy or loop in Carly, who remains oblivious back home. Jocelyn's return to Port Charles brings relief, but also unresolved tensions, as she processes the trauma with quiet moments of reflection by the waterfront. The captivity of Rick Lansing becomes a ticking time bomb, with Molly Lansing Davis and Elizabeth Baldwin noticing his absence and launching their own investigations, maybe tracing his last known whereabouts to a secluded warehouse. Alexis Davis, Christina Corinthos Davis, and Ava Jerome scramble to erase their tracks. But the complexity of hiding Rick's predicament leads to slip-ups, like overlooked phone records that could unravel their cover. Poor Scout Quartermain grapples with terror over Drew's mysterious assault, her fears amplified by nightmares of losing another parent, drawing emotional support from extended family who rally around her with stories of resilience. Finally, the stage is set for Ryan Pave's anticipated comeback, with writers dropping hints like cryptic messages or familiar faces at the Five Poppies Resort, building anticipation for whether he reprises Nathan or embodies a new character, entangled in the resort's intrigue, perhaps as a whistleblower with ties to past scandals. Next, we will explore the turbulent journey of Willow Tate and whether this once-beloved healer is in desperate need of some serious self-care to turn her life around. In the ever-twisting world of Port Charles, it's becoming increasingly clear that Willow Tate, the compassionate nurse who's always been there for others, might finally require a dose of her own medicine. Her recent string of misfortunes has pushed her to unimaginable depths, each incident more shocking than the last, painting a picture of a woman unraveling at the seams. From heated confrontations that cross professional lines to emotional meltdowns, in the most public of settings, Willow's behavior has fans buzzing with concern. Imagine her, once the epitome of grace under pressure, now caught in a whirlwind of poor decisions that threaten not just her career, but her very sanity. We've seen her lash out physically at a fellow doctor, crumble under the weight of legal battles with raw, unfiltered sobs echoing through the courtroom, and even pursue a helpless infant in a manner that borders on obsession. These aren't isolated slips, they're symptoms of a deeper crisis brewing within. Perhaps it's time for Willow to step back, maybe indulge in some therapeutic retreats or quiet reflection by the serene shores of the harbor, away from the chaos that defines General Hospital. Adding to this narrative, whispers around town suggest she's been skipping meals and losing sleep, her eyes shadowed with exhaustion that no amount of coffee can mask, highlighting just how far she's fallen from her former self. Diving deeper into Willow's current state, it's evident that her life has been shattered into a million pieces, starting with the devastating loss of custody over her precious children, a blow that would break even the strongest spirit. This heartbreak was compounded by the gut-wrenching revelation that her own mother, Nina Reeves, entangled herself in a steamy affair with Willow's intended husband, Drew Kane, a betrayal that cut like a knife through family bonds. Picture the scene: Willow, standing in a dimly lit room, piecing together clues from overheard conversations and misplaced items, her face contorting in disbelief as the truth dawns. Yet, in a move that stunned viewers, during the intense episode aired on August 27th, Willow struck a Faustian bargain with Drew himself. He dangles the promise of reclaiming her kids, but the cost is nothing short of reuniting with him, a man whose moral compass spins wildly out of control. Drew's history of deceit is legendary. Think back to his fabricated stories and hidden agendas that have ensnared so many in Port Charles. Willow's willingness to align with such a figure speaks volumes about her plummeting desperation, as if she's grasping at straws in a raging storm. To flesh this out, envision secret meetings in tucked-away cafes where Drew outlines his shady plans, complete with forged documents and insider connections, while Willow wrestles with her conscience, her hands trembling as she signs on the dotted line. This alliance isn't just risky, it's a ticking time bomb that could explode her remaining relationships, leaving fans to ponder if she's truly hit rock bottom or if there's further to fall. Now, the burning question arises: is it high time for an intervention in Willow's chaotic life? Her judgment seems clouded, evident in how she's overlooked glaring red flags, like Drew's blatant lies to her young son Wiley Corinthos about family matters, not to mention the unforgivable indiscretion with her mother that shattered trust irreparably. In this fragile mental state, One has to wonder about her fitness to care for the vulnerable souls who rely on her expertise at General Hospital. If she's capable of delivering a sharp slap to Dr. Lucas Jones right in the sterile hallways of the hospital, fueled by unchecked rage, what unpredictable actions might she take toward a defenseless patient in a moment of stress? Expand on that thought. Perhaps during a routine shift, Willow misinterprets a patient's complaint, her mind elsewhere, leading to a near-miss error that alarms her colleagues and prompts hushed discussions in the break room about her stability. Then there's the chilling episode where she shadowed Daisy Gilmore so relentlessly that it drove Sasha Gilmore Corbin to pack up and escape Port Charles with her newborn in tow, fearing for their safety. This isn't the Willow we knew, the one who bandaged wounds with a gentle touch and offered words of comfort. Instead, she's become a shadow of herself, driven by impulses that scream for professional help. Fans are imagining scenarios where close friends like Michael Corinthos or Carly Spencer stage a surprise gathering, complete with heartfelt pleas and brochures for counseling services, urging her to seek the support she so desperately needs before another catastrophe strikes. Finally, the big debate swirls round whether Willow can claw her way back to redemption, emerging from this dark chapter as the empathetic figure she once was. At this juncture, a stint in a specialized facility like Shady Brook or Ferncliff seems like a lifeline, equipped with therapists who specialize in trauma recovery, group sessions that foster emotional rebuilding, and even art therapy to channel her inner turmoil into something constructive. Imagine her arriving at the gates of such a place, suitcase in hand, greeted by caring staff who guide her through intake, where she pours out her story amid tears and revelations. The Willow of old was a beacon of kindness, always putting others first with a soft smile and unwavering patience. But lately, she's transformed into a version that's almost unrecognizable, evoking comparisons to infamous villains with her cold calculations and vengeful streaks. This shift hasn't gone unnoticed. General Hospital enthusiasts are flooding social media with theories, from hopeful arcs where she undergoes intensive therapy and returns stronger, perhaps volunteering at community centers to rebuild her sense of purpose, to darker predictions that her path leads to irreversible isolation. Some speculate on plot twists involving hypnosis sessions that uncover suppressed memories, or interventions from long-lost relatives who offer fresh perspectives. Others dream up storylines where Willow mentors a troubled teen, mirroring her own struggles and paving the way for mutual healing. The consensus among viewers is a resounding call for mental health intervention to restore her core essence, but the path ahead is fraught with challenges. What do you think? Can Willow be salvaged from this abyss, or has the damage run too deep? Next, we will uncover the gripping saga unfolding in Port Charles, where Rick Lansing finds himself trapped in a web of deceit right under his own family's roof, courtesy of a bold scheme orchestrated by Alexis Davis, Ava Jerome, and Christina Corinthos Davis. Deep in the shadows of Alexis Davis's home, Rick Lansing endures an unexpected imprisonment in the dimly lit basement, a makeshift cell complete with creaky old furniture and faint echoes of the world above. This audacious plot, masterminded by Alexis alongside her allies Ava and Christina, aims to detain him for a full 30 days, allowing his legal bond to lapse and stripping him of the ill-gotten funds he allegedly siphoned from Alexis through clever embezzlement tactics. Picture Rick, bound to a sturdy chair with makeshift restraints like duct tape and rope scavenged from household supplies, his days marked by sparse meals delivered through a slotted door, and tense negotiations whispered in the dark. The trio's motivation stems from a burning desire for justice, or perhaps revenge, ensuring Rick's financial empire crumbles without a trace of their involvement. Yet, lurking in the background is an unforeseen complication that could unravel everything. Molly Lansing, G. Davis, Rick's devoted daughter who shares the same household with Alexis, might stumble upon this hidden horror. Her daily routines, cooking in the kitchen or lounging in the upstairs den, place her perilously close to the truth, with only a locked door separating her from the shocking revelation. To add layers to this intrigue, imagine Molly noticing subtle anomalies like unexplained drafts from the basement vents, or the faint scent of Rick's favorite cologne wafting up the stairs, planting seeds of doubt in her mind long before any direct confrontation. As days stretch into an uneasy silence, Molly Lansing Davis begins to feel the weight of her father's absence, pressing down like a storm cloud over Port Charles. Normally a constant presence with his reassuring texts and quick check-in calls, Rick's sudden radio silence, voicemails piling up unanswered and messages left unread ignites a spark of worry in her heart. She's completely oblivious to the fact that he's mere feet away, confined in the basement by her own mother Alexis and sister Christina, enduring the isolation with nothing but his thoughts and the occasional muffled sounds from the household above. In a bid for answers, Molly reaches out to Elizabeth Baldwin, Rick's close confidant and occasional romantic interest, perhaps meeting her at a cozy coffee shop near the hospital where Elizabeth confesses she hasn't heard a peep from him either, her brow furrowed in shared concern. The general assumption around town is that Rick has simply skipped out, maybe jetting off to handle some out-of-state business or laying low after a heated argument. But Molly's instincts scream otherwise. After all, Rick is deeply entrenched as Willow Tate's dedicated lawyer, navigating her complex custody battles with sharp legal maneuvers and late-night strategy sessions. It just doesn't add up that he'd abandon such a high-stakes case midstream, leaving files scattered and court dates unattended. This nagging inconsistency fuels Molly's growing conviction that something sinister is afoot, prompting her to jot down notes in a private journal, listing timelines of his last known activities, like a mysterious dinner meeting or an abrupt phone call cut short, all pointing toward a possible disappearance that demands investigation. Fueled by mounting suspicions, Molly turns her gaze toward Ava Jerome, piecing together clues that paint her as a prime suspect in Rick's vanishing act. It dawns on Molly that Ava had been growing increasingly frustrated with Rick's persistent meddling in her affairs, their interactions laced with sharp barbs and escalating tensions that could have boiled over into violence. Envision a scenario where Molly confronts Ava at her art gallery, the air thick with the scent of oil paints and unspoken accusations. As Molly suggests, a heated dispute might have led to harm, perhaps a shove that went too far, or a weapon grabbed in the heat of the moment. Ava, ever the poised manipulator, firmly denies any involvement, her voice steady as she claims Rick must have bolted from Port Charles on his own accord, maybe chasing a lead or escaping personal demons, complete with a fabricated alibi involving a late-night gallery event attended by witnesses. Undeterred, Molly confides in Christina and Alexis back at home, sharing her theories over a tense family dinner where plates clatter and glances are exchanged, only for them to band together in persuasion mode. They spin tales of Rick's flaky history, reminding her of past instances where he vanished for weeks on vague business trips, perhaps even showing her old emails or photos from those times to bolster their story, all while secretly sweating over the risk of Molly digging deeper into phone records or security footage that could expose their basement secret. The turning point arrives on an ordinary afternoon as Molly settles into the living room for some focused work, her laptop glowing with case files and a steaming mug of tea nearby, when peculiar sounds begin to drift up from the basement below. At first, she dismisses them as the house settling, maybe the groan of old pipes or a distant thud from shifting boxes, but as the noises persist, growing more insistent like muffled knocks or scraping furniture, curiosity overrides her hesitation. Heart pounding, she creeps toward the basement door, flashlight in hand from a nearby drawer, her mind racing with possibilities from a trapped animal to an intruder. Descending the creaky stairs into the cool, musty air, lined with shelves of forgotten holiday decorations and dusty storage bins, Molly's eyes widen in disbelief as she discovers Rick, disheveled and wide-eyed, chained in the corner with the gag partially loosened. Relief floods her features as she rushes to free him, fumbling with knots and locks, perhaps using a nearby tool like a pair of garden shears to cut through the bindings. While whispering assurances, once liberated, Rick catches his breath and launches into an explanation, his voice hoarse from disuse, revealing that this ordeal is a tangled tale of betrayal, where Alexis and Christina have been feeding her lies, concealing their roles in his captivity amid motives tied to financial retribution. He might hint at the embezzlement scheme, describing how they lured him downstairs with a false pretext like discussing family matters, only to ambush him with restraints and a plan hatched in hushed whispers. But the question lingers, will Rick lay bare every ugly detail, including Ava's complicity and the full extent of the 30-day plot? Or will he hold back to protect Molly from the shattering family fallout? As this explosive storyline builds to a climax, we're left pondering the ripples it could send through Port Charles. Do you believe Molly will push further into investigating Rick's so-called disappearance, perhaps enlisting police help or hacking into digital trails? Could her basement discovery lead to an immediate family showdown, with accusations flying in the living room? And if Rick chooses to spill the entire sordid truth, how might it reshape Molly's relationships forever? Share your predictions in the comments as we keep our eyes glued to General Hospital. For the next shocking twist,